What's going on, my fellow Remnant 2 gamers? It's D-Werewolf Gaming here, back with another Remnant 2 video. Alright guys, so I'm going to start this video off a little different than what I normally do. Today I'm going to show you the build breakdown, then we'll show a little bit of gameplay. Alright, and for my class guys, the name of this build is called Die Hard Bulldog, but for the class I did, we'll go with the Challenger as my primary class. When receiving fatal damage, the Challenger becomes invulnerable for 3 seconds and regenerate 100% of max health. This can only occur every 10 minutes or if you reset it at the World Stone. Alright guys, so I would have went with the Juggernaut in the open world, but with this build, fighting bosses, I do prefer using the Rampage skill. And what it does is you're in a heightened state of battle, which increases fire rate by 15%, reload speed by 25%, and movement speed by 15%. This lasts for 10 seconds. Kills and dealing significant damage. Grants 1 stack of rage, which increases range damage by 2.5% per stack. Upon reaching 10 stacks, the Challenger goes berserk, which reloads the current weapon and doubles the Rampage effects for 15 seconds. Alright, the perks are Face of Danger. Using the relic within 10 meters of an enemy grants 2 stacks of bulwark and 10% increased damage for 10 seconds. Get Power Lifter, what it does, both the stamina and increase for each weight bracket of stamina gen delay are reduced by 50%. Alright, you get Intimidating Presence. After activating the Challenger skill, enemies within 15 meters deal 10% less damage, and for 15 seconds with an additional 2.5% damage reduction per enemy affected. You get Close Quarters. It grants a 35% increase to all damage to enemies within 10 meters, and the damage bonus tapers off until 20 meters. Critical chance is increased by 10%. Alright, the Handler was my secondary class. Choose whichever skill you prefer, but I went with a support dog on this so I can have the continuous health regen. The companion will follow the Handler and continuously heal allies within 3.5 meters for 0.25% of max health per second. And when you hold it, guys, you get 2%. When you hold that button down, you get 2% of max health regen and 25% increased movement speed for all allies within 20 meters, and that lasts for 25 seconds. You get the Pack Hunter trait, gain 30% increased range and skill damage and 5% range and skill crit chance to the companion when they're alive. Alright, you get the Spirit of the Wolf, increases movement speed by 10% to all allies within 10 meters and gain the movement speed, but reduces the cost of stamina by 15%. You get Teamwork. Handler and companion gain 30% increased revive speed, while the handler or companion are reviving, they also receive 50% less damage. And you also get the Best Friend perk. Alright, using the relic fully restores the companion health and grants them 25% damage and 35% damage reduction. Overall, great combination, guys. I went with a Bruiser armor set, guys. I wanted to keep that medium roll, and as you can see, my armor, I had 210 armor on it, so this is a pretty good tanky build. I did use the Shielded Heart, especially when fighting the bosses, guys, but use whichever word that you prefer. And what it does on use, grants a shield with 100% max health, lasts 20 seconds or less damage. I got a mythic health and mythic weak spot and a mythic 20% critical range damage. Weapon stats, guys, I had a critical damage of 80%, 30% range damage, 40% of all bonus damage, skill damage of 30%, weak spot damage of 15%, 10% crit chance, range crit chance of 5%, and skill crit chance of 5%. Total damage reduction of 68.3%. I did use the Black Maul assault rifle, guys, and I did today on this build. I chose to go with the Far Gazer mod. I hadn't used it in a while, so I wanted to use it. It calls forth in the Eye of the Legion to gaze at players, and when you aim at them, guys, it builds up a stack, and for each stack you deal 12.6 damage per second. And you wanted to use the Twisted Round Mutator on this build as well to increase the range damage to this weapon by 20% to bleeding targets. At level 10, the weapon's range and weak spot. Apply critical hit. Apply bleed, dealing 800 bleed over 10 seconds. But use whichever weapon you prefer. I just wanted to use the Black assault rifle on this particular build. Worked pretty good, and like I said, I didn't use the Far Gazer mod in a while, so I thought it was time to pull it out again. Alright guys, the goal in this build was to put together a build that's pretty easy to put together. Didn't require a whole lot of things to use, and easy to get. Alright, for your melee weapon, use whichever melee weapon you prefer. I did have the World's Edge equipped, but as you see in the video, guys, I barely ever used it. And what it does is charge attacks release a horizontal projectile that penetrate through multiple enemies, dealing 348 damage. I did use the Shielded Scrag mutator on this particular melee weapon to increase when melee attacks grant a shield of 4% max health, max of 40%, and lasts 10 seconds. Charge melee attacks deal additional 25% melee damage based on the current shield amount. So if you got your shield equipped, you would do more damage, guys, whenever you use it. I did use the MP60 SMG, and guys, I'm really enjoying using the Song of Aether. What it does is fires a shot of infused with binding and power of Song of Aether, targets most grounded enemies within 10 meters, and deals 630 damage to flying enemies within the same range. The sun continues for 15 seconds, affecting target targets was slow, and 15% decreased damage dealt. I paired this with fatigue wounds, guys, to increase critical chance of this weapon by 5% per unique status effect, and you get up max 15%, and at level 10 it applies corrosive, dealing 200 corrosive damage over 10 seconds on those critical and weak spot hits. Alright, for my rings I did go to Burden and Destroy, and what it does, decrease ideal range of all firearms by 25%, but you get an increase of all damage by 15%, so it worked out pretty well. That was one reason why I did use the bleed, guys, to help make up for some of that range that you are missing when you use that ring. Pop ability core to increase critical damage by 30%, but you could have went with something different if you like something with a little bit more damage if you didn't want to use the probability core ring, because overall, guys, this build isn't really built mostly on crit build. Alright, I did use the Torment Fold ring as well to get the bleed applied to me, guys, mainly so to make this build possible. And with the Torment Fold ring, it applies 1.1 bleed to the wearer, but as a result you do get 10% critical hit chance back. So overall, just amazing ring for being able to get to boost your critical when you want to make a critical hit build. Alright, for the last ring, guys, I did go with the Hardcore Metal Band, and what it does is taking damage adds 1 stack of Bulwark, which individually falls off after 10 seconds. You get a max of 5 stacks, guys. Because I am bleeding constantly, I'm gonna always have that 5 stacks, which is gonna give me constant 25% reducing damage from the Bulwark stack that I'm gonna have. Alright, and for the amulet, guys, I was wearing the Neckbone necklace, and what it does is reduces the damage of status effect applied to the wearer by 50%, but you also gain 25% increase in all damage when suffering from a status effect. Guys, remember, I am suffering from bleed, so I'm gonna get half of that bleed damage applied to me, and I'm gonna get a bonus of 25% weapon damage as a result when I am wearing the Neckbone amulet, and that's how I'm able to get my overall bonus damage up to 40% on this particular build. So Neckbone necklace is great for this particular build. I think this build is pretty easy to put together, and that's what I wanted to bring to you guys. Alright, Strong Back trait comes automatically on this class, 10 points on that. Kingship comes automatically on the handler, 10 points on that to reduce damage to your. Alright, Triage got 10 points in that to increase healing by 50%. Guys, got 10 points in the Fortified, increase armor effectiveness by 50%. 10 points in Regrowth, increase health regeneration. Got a little bit of ammo reserve. I think I got about 5 points in that to give me about 25% ammo. I got points in, guys, I wanted to get a movement speed build, so this build is pretty quick, increase all movement speed. I do got 5 points in there, and remember, the support dog also gives you movement speed, so this build you will be able to move pretty quickly. I got 10 points in Spirit to increase mod generation by 20%. 10 points in Expertise to reduce skill cooldown by 20%. 10 points in Bart Skin to reduce all the incoming damage by 10%. I got 10 points in Siphoner, guys, so that way I can get Lifesteal, grants 3% base damage as Lifesteal back. Okay, and Vigor, I did not have this maxed out this time, guys. I only got 8 points in it, but as you see in the video, guys, I was taking plenty of hits, able to take them, and I'm still pretty tanky on this build, even when I not having that maxed out. I got 2 points in endurance to increase my stamina. Alright, and don't forget to use your mud tonic, guys, and this is what boosting up my health so much. So as you can see, I didn't even need to fully maxed out my my vigor to be able to get my health up pretty good. Alright, so again, overall, this is a pretty fun build. I do enjoy using it, guys, because you will move around. Those of you who like to move pretty quickly, this is a build for you. Alright, guys, so I'm gonna let you finish watching the gameplay, me fighting these bosses. Thank you for your valuable time as always, guys, and I appreciate all those who are new to the channel and those who have continued to support me as well, guys. It means a lot. I really appreciate it. I do enjoy playing Remnant. I can't wait for the new DLC to come out. You know, give me something else to grind for, something else to do. And like I said in the previous video, guys, I do try to bring you other videos of different types of games, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm always come back and bring you Remnant videos as well, because I still do enjoy Remnant from time to time. And guys, my builds, like I said before, I'm not going to really try to focus on bringing you over top builds or builds that, you know, just don't. I want to bring builds that most people in the community can put together pretty easily, work pretty good, do decent amount of damage, guys. And the items, I don't want the items to be as hard to obtain to be able to make these builds. Most of these items I am using, besides the World Edge Sword, you can get without even beating the game on Apocalypse. And as you see in the video, guys, I did not even use the World Edge Sword even that much in any of the boss fights that is taking place right now. I want to show you stuff that you can get now. The only thing about this game is that it is RNG, so of course, you know, it takes time. You can't just go out there and get it the first day, because you got to hope that you get the item appears on that particular map that you rolled on that given time period. And that's what makes this game fun to play, because even though that is aggravating, it does give you something to do and give you a reason to come back to continuously keep playing it. Now, some of the items can be more aggravating from my experience, like in the map with the Endurers trying to get some of the rings. That can be pretty aggravating, but overall just gives you a reason to keep coming back and playing. And guys, as always, these builds are yours. Make me use whichever you prefer, what works best best for your play style. I'm just showing you stuff that I'm using, stuff that works, that like that is easy to get, and just overall just makes the apocalypse less aggravating, given the fact that a lot of these bosses and ads do have those one-hit mechanics that can take you out pretty easily. I know that can get frustrating, and with that being said, I hope you enjoy the builds, guys, and thank you for all who have continued to support me. It really means a lot. Alright, so I'm going to just let you watch me fight these two bosses, and then that'll be it for the video. Alright, D-Werewolf out.